Hello, and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday for women creating life after abuse and finding their way to a life they call their own. I'm Rose Armstrong, and Judy Johnson is joining us today. Hi, Judy.
Hi, ladies. Hi, Rose.
Have you ever wondered why your body reacts to something your mind already knows is okay? Maybe someone raises their voice and your whole body tenses. A door slams and you jump. Someone asks you a perfectly reasonable question, but you feel that familiar tightness in your chest before you have even had a chance to answer. Or maybe it's something completely different. Life is calmer now. No one is demanding anything from you. You finally have an afternoon where there's nowhere you have to go and nothing that you have to do. And yet, you can't quite relax. Your mind knows you're safe. You know the abusive relationship is over. You know you don't have to watch someone's mood, choose your words carefully, or prepare yourself for what might happen next. You know all of that. So, why doesn't your body seem to know it too? That's the question I want to spend some time with today. What if you understand exactly what happened to you? You've done the work to change how you think about it, and your body still hasn't got the message that it's over. Because there is something important we don't talk about nearly enough. What we experience doesn't only affect the way we think, it affects our bodies too. And understanding that can help make sense of reactions that may not have made sense to you before. When you live for a long time with stress, fear, unpredictability, or control, your body learns to respond in the environment you're living in. It learns to pay attention. It learns to recognize the smallest changes in someone's voice or mood. It learns to react quickly. It may even learn to stay alert when everything appears to be okay, because experiences taught you that things can change very quickly. Those responses aren't random. Your body was responding to what was happening around you. But here's where it gets interesting. When your circumstances change, those physical responses don't necessarily change at the same time. You can leave the relationship. You can create a home where you feel safe. You can understand what happened and begin changing the beliefs you carried away from that experience. You can make different choices and create a very different life. And yet, your body may still respond to certain situations as though it needs to protect you. That's why you can know logically that a raised voice isn't a threat, and you still feel those muscles tighten. It's why you can know that you're allowed to make your own decisions and still feel the knot in your stomach when you think someone might disagree with you. Your mind is responding to what is true today. Your body may still be responding to what it learned yesterday. Leaving changed your circumstances. It didn't change your thoughts, and it didn't change the way your body responds. Understanding can change the way you think about what happened. And your body may need its own time, attention, and support to recognize that things are different now. And this doesn't always show up in ways that are obvious. You may notice that you're tired more often than you think you should be. You may carry tension in your shoulders, your jaw, even your stomach without realizing that you're even doing it. You may find it difficult to completely relax, even when you have the time and the opportunity. Maybe you're sitting on the couch watching television, but some part of you still feels like you should be doing something. You may notice that your body reacts even before you've had time to think. The heart beats faster, your stomach tightens, your breathing changes. You may feel anxiety settling in. And then your mind catches up and says, wait, nothing is wrong. There may also be times when you feel physically uncomfortable and can't point to an obvious reason why. All of this can be confusing, especially when you've already done so much work to understand what happened and change your life. It's easy to look at those reactions and wonder, why am I still doing this? But perhaps it's not the most helpful question. Maybe a better question is, what has my body learned to do? Because these reactions don't tell you who you are. They tell you something about what your body learned to do during the time when paying attention, reacting quickly, and being prepared mattered. And once we understand that, we can begin looking at healing differently. Not as something that happens only through what we understand or change in our minds, but as something that can involve the whole of who we are. For a long time, much of the personal growth work I did focused on my mind. I wanted to understand what had happened. Why had I made the choices I made? What did I believe about myself because of those experiences? Which of those beliefs were actually true? And that work mattered. Understanding helped me see myself and my experiences differently. It helped me change beliefs that no longer belonged in the life I wanted to create. And it helped me make different choices. But eventually, I came to understand something else. I am not just my thoughts, and neither are you.
We can do powerful work through awareness, through understanding, changing beliefs, making different choices, and discovering who we are. But we are not minds walking around in bodies. We are whole human beings. What we've lived through has affected us physically. It affects us emotionally. It affects us mentally. And I know it affects us energetically as well. It makes sense to me that healing can take place on more than one level. This is something very important to the work we do at Wounded Women Rising. We believe healing takes place on many levels. That's why supporting a woman as she creates a different life, we want to consider all of her. Healing isn't just about convincing your mind to catch up with your body or convincing your body to catch up with your mind. It's recognizing that your emotions, your mind, your body, and your energy are all part of the same woman. And all of her deserves your attention. Now, when I talk about energy, I realize it may be unfamiliar to some of you. But if we put it into a practical term, maybe this is something that will make it easier to comprehend. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt that something was off? No one had to say anything. You didn't know what had happened, but you could feel the tension in that room. Or perhaps you spent time with someone whose presence makes you feel just so relaxed, even though they weren't doing anything in particular. That is energy. We experience things we don't always have words for. From the perspective of energy-based healing practices, our experiences affect more than our thoughts and our emotions. Prolonged stress and traumatic experiences also affect the body's energetic balance. And this is the piece that thinking alone simply will not reach. You can understand what has happened, you can change a belief about yourself, and you can make different choices. You can build a life that looks completely different from the one you left. And there's still be something within you responding to what you lived through. This is why, for me, looking at the whole woman matters. I don't want us to assume that because we understand something intellectually, we have addressed every way the experience affected us. Our thoughts deserve attention, our emotions deserve attention, our bodies deserve attention as well. But I know your energy deserves attention too. And this is why we include PureBioenergy Healing Therapy, why it has such a valuable place in the work that we do at Wounded Women Rising. So let's first explain a little bit about what it is. PureBioenergy Healing Therapy is a form of energy healing. There are no cultural, no political, no religious, ritualistic, or medical additions. At the center of this work is the part of us called the biofield. The biofield is an energetic field that exists within and around the physical body. You can think of it as another part of the whole person that we've been talking about. From the perspective of PureBioenergy healing, prolonged stress, difficult emotions, and traumatic experiences can disrupt the balance of that energy. It's like putting a little divot in it. And that's where the PureBioenergy Healing Therapy comes in. A trained PureBioenergy Healing therapist works with the person's biofield, that energetic part of the human. They have the intent of restoring balance to the energy field and supporting the body's own healing processes. You have the ability to heal within you, given the tools that it needs to do so. During a treatment, a practitioner connects with the person's biofield and, using the energy of pure life, addresses areas of disturbances. The beauty of this is that it can do no harm. One of the things I find particularly important about this work for women who have experienced abuse is what she doesn't have to do. She doesn't have to tell her story. She doesn't have to figure out which experience caused which response. She does not have to revisit painful memories. She doesn't even have to understand what's happening in order to receive a treatment. The practitioner works within the energy field, using the energy of life itself, rather than asking the woman consciously to work through the experience. And all this can be done whether the woman is in the same room or hundreds of kilometers away. Pure bioenergy healing can be provided at a distance. And distance healing is as effective as if the person is right here in front of the therapist or the practitioner. The practitioner works with the person's biofield without needing to be physically present with her. Now, I understand this may be very different from anything you've experienced before. And you don't have to believe everything I'm telling you simply because I'm telling it. But I do want you to understand why we include it. And I do want you to understand the results that women get with Pure Bioenergy Healing Therapy are profound. That's why we include it.
We don't believe there is one single way to support a woman as she heals. We work with her thoughts and beliefs. We help her understand herself. We help her make different choices. We help her rediscover who she is, and she decides what she wants for her life. And through Pure Bioenergy Healing Therapy, we have a way to work with the energetic part of her as well, not instead of everything else, alongside it. Because we believe healing takes place on many levels, like we've said repeatedly through this. And if our experiences have affected the whole of who we are, then it makes sense to us to care for the whole woman. This isn't something Judy and I believe only in theory. We've experienced the effects of Pure Bioenergy Healing Therapy in our own lives. And we've seen it. And we've seen its effects in the women and other people that we've worked with. We've watched people become more relaxed. We've seen emotional responses change. We've seen women experience relief from things they had been carrying for a very long time. Those experiences are part of why Pure Bioenergy Healing Therapy has remained an important part of the work that we do. So let's come back to you. Maybe you've wondered why you're still reacting to things you thought you had already dealt with. Maybe you've been frustrated with yourself because you understand what happened. You've changed the way you think about it. You've changed what you believe about yourself. Your life is different now. And yet, your body still reacts. It may even feel like your body is working against the life you're trying to create. But what if it isn't working against you at all? What if the body simply learned how to respond during a time when your life required something different from you? That changes the question. Instead of asking, why am I still like this? You begin asking, what part of me still needs my attention? Because knowing that you're safe and experiencing that safety throughout the whole of who you are not necessarily the same thing. Your mind may have done an incredible amount of work. Your emotions may have changed. Your choices may have changed. You may know yourself in ways you never did before. And your body may still need its own time, attention, and support to recognize that things are different now. Healing doesn't require one part of you to overpower another. It allows us to recognize that every part of us deserves care. Your mind, emotions, body, your energy, all of you. Because you are not a collection of separate pieces that you're trying to fix. You are one whole woman. And all of you deserves to move forward together.
Before we finish today, I'd like to leave you with one question. What has your body been trying to tell you? You don't need to search for an answer. Just begin to notice. Notice when your shoulders tighten, and notice when your breathing changes, or notice when your stomach knots, or when anxiety appears before you even understand why. Notice the moments when relaxing feels harder than you think it should. Instead of becoming frustrated with yourself, become curious. What was happening just before I felt this? What might my body have learned from experiences that I'd had in the past? And what does it need from me now? You don't have to solve anything today. You are simply beginning to listen to another part of yourself that may have been speaking to you for a very long time. Your body's been part of your story too. Perhaps now it deserves to be part of the way you care for yourself.
As we come to the end of our time together today, I'd like to offer you a message for your soul, my customary blessing. So if you're able, lower your gaze or gently close your eyes, place a hand on your heart, and take a breath. And allow these words to settle where they are needed most. May you listen to your body with curiosity and compassion. May you honor all that your body has carried for you. May you give yourself the time, attention, and support you need. May you experience safety not only as something you know, but as something you feel throughout your whole self. And may you remember that every part of you deserves to be cared for as you create the life you want. You can open your eyes. And that's enough for today. We'll see you next week.